Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad.
Cool. Hey, Danny.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Not bad, thanks. Well, thank you both for agreeing to join me tonight. It's been a long time coming. Like I said in my message, I've been waiting to ask you for a long time. I thought, I've been waiting for the moment for when the second album was coming out. I thought, this is the time now. This is it.
Well, we're very glad you asked, mate. And yeah, it's been a little time coming, this album, but yeah, we're pleased to be talking about it now.
Well, like I said, thank you again. Before we discuss the present and the future, is it okay if we talk about the past a little bit? Is that all right?
No,
Yeah, absolutely.
Still too painful, David.
I can imagine it was. Well, first of all, I just wanted to ask, what was it like back in the day in the Camden scene and that way he was playing? Because I was never there, I never lived it. What was it like back then?
Well, I mean, it's sort of looking back. It's funny. Obviously, we were kind of right in the middle of it, to some degree, and it was just, there was lots of gigs and lots of club nights and lots of parties, and I'm making it sound like the swinging '60s, but it was genuinely a scene. There was lots of bands. You could you could see a gig every night of the week, and as a band playing gigs, there was loads of places to play, and there was a really thriving outside of Camden and London, really thriving university circuit. So you could get in your van and tour one end of the country to another, playing regular, indie nights at universities, and be doing a gig, virtually every night of the week. So fantastic time to be in our, I guess, early 20s and being in a band. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we probably took it for granted because it was we were just the perfect age for it, really. And as Danny said, there's just so much going on. And I think, now, especially in the last few years, lots of venues closing. Certainly that university circuit doesn't exist anymore, and it's harder for a band to get up and down the country and make it pay and do that. So I think we were quite lucky, but it was it was it's a bit like I was saying the '60s. If you remember it, you probably weren't really there, but we had a really good laugh and made the most of it. It was good fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a lot of fun, and I've never heard anyone mention the university circuit before, but it's funny you mention that, because when you look back at old tickets and stuff, there often was at university shows, and there'd be the main band with the support that had no name, or with plus guests or whatever, and that was where bands were going around the universities and that, and getting themselves out there.
Yeah, we'd be playing, we played, right up and down the country, without, all through term time, all year round, and there were lots and lots of bands that we look back on now and consider to be big name bands doing exactly the same circuit, playing the same rooms, and you'd be going up the country and they'd be coming down, and you'd play the night before, the night after. We'd always say, who played here last night, and it was everybody was on that circuit, and and it was brilliant for us just to be out and about and doing that number of gigs. And as you say, like that the music scene in the early mid and right up through to the late '90s was really vibrant. Lots and lots of really good bands, on that circuit.
Yeah. Now the mid '90s and that. Now, am I right in saying you had been around a long time before your first single Ego Tripper was released? You'd been around a good couple of years. Do you remember buying fanzines or anything? I've got a review from a little post in this fanzine here from about 1996 about your single Ego Tripper. Am I okay to just read it out to you? It's called All About Friends, this fanzine. There's a little bit about you in that.
I've never seen it, so only read it out if it's good.
It says, the Kynd Ego Tripper. Cripes. Ego Tripper finally makes it to the shops. Polished by Andy Bell of Ride. I reviewed this demo in issue 2 of mid '94. So this issue came out in '96. I've got. By heck, the wheels grind exceedingly slow sometimes. The Kynd have a strong local following, but whether their appeal will ripple further, Gary Crawley's support notwithstanding, in brackets, I'm not so sure. Available from Go Go Girl Records at London.
Yeah, not super positive.
Can you give us that? Can you give us that fella's address?
It did take quite a while. Particularly that song had been in our live set for a good couple of years before we did some. Well, back then it was cassette tapes that would sell at gigs and stuff. So you know, he probably got one of those early ones, and it wasn't until we signed to Go Go Girl that. And for me at the time, I wouldn't have Ego Tripper, and like had been in the set for a while. It wouldn't have been my first choice as a single, but it was the record label. You know, that's the one. It's got to be that tune, and so we went with that. So it had been knocking around for a while, but everything, that whole passage of our career, for want of a better word, seemed to take a long time. Everything did seem to move really slowly, and especially when you're young and just really keen, you just want to get on with it all the time and be playing your latest songs and moving it forward. But you know, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I think we demoed it in sort of late '94. Then we recorded it with Andy, I think the late '95, and then it came out in '96, and everything just took 3 to 6 months longer than it should have done. But yeah, and then we, you know, the second single didn't come out till about 8 months after that. So yeah, it moved slowly, but we were, at the time, we were just, you know, happy to be out and about. But by the time the singles had come out, we'd had a whole new set of songs. We were, you know, constantly writing and demoing new tracks. So even by the time the album came out, we had a whole new set of songs. And people were coming and hoping to hear the songs they're only just getting to know. And we were already like, oh, we've been playing them for 2 years. And we were, you know, like every band, you're very excited about the new material and what's next, and we want to play our new songs. And that's partly, you know, coming back to what we're doing now, that we got to that point where we were writing and demoing some of the songs that are now on this new album. And we want to play them. We didn't want to be plugging an album we'd recorded a year before and singles that had been recorded the year before that. So you know, it's really good. Paul, our singer, sort of said one of the great things about coming back together and releasing this album, that those songs have got a home now, because they just existed out there in the ether for, you know, since we split up, and now we've brought it all back together and releasing the album that we should have done at the end of the '90s or the early noughties.
No, that's good. Did it ever become frustrating for you because everything was moving slow? Did you ever see other bands like alongside you release and you thought, oh, I wish that we should have been there? Or
yeah, it's part. Well, for me, it's part of that frustration that probably led to us splitting up in the end, and just never quite moving as quickly or taking the opportunities that were in front of us. But at the time, at that time when those singles were coming out, we were so busy. It didn't really feel that. Looking back on it now, it seems like you think, crikey, we recorded a single in '96 and it was on an album in '99. That's unheard of nowadays. But at the time, we were out playing so much. We were just enjoying it. It didn't feel quite like that. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating for sure.
Yeah, cool. Now, the album Shakedown, whose idea was it to have the ball in the side?
I think that was Danny's, and certainly in all the promo copies, he personally put the ball in the spine.
Yeah.
Which I think you regretted after a while, didn't you?
I did, yeah. We did thousands of them. They and it was a pain in the ass. You have to sort of pry open the, the CD case, and then I remember the first lot of ball bearings the record company got were too big. They didn't fit in the channel, and then because obviously it's the roulette wheel, and it's meant to be the ball in the roulette wheel, and but people still talk about it now. People say, oh, I've got one with the ball in it, and I think that was probably the first couple of thousand had the balls in, and I don't think any of the ones that went to Japan had, so if you've got one, it's a real collector's item. But yeah, it was.
Have you got one, Dan?
I've got one, yeah, but I've you don't see many of them in the wild. But I regretted it after I'd done the first few hundred, because with a pair of tweezers and the case open up, putting them in. So yeah. It seemed like a good idea at the time, David.
I haven't got a copy. It is
I haven't got one either.
Very rare. And I am looking at, there is a copy on eBay right now. I've got it on my phone here. It's being sold by someone in Italy. And it's going for, I don't know if you can see, £12, but the postage is quite a lot on that.
Yeah. Not
Danny is going to buy that.
I'm looking at it. I'm getting that. 15 quid's good value, but you don't want to pay 20 quid postage or whatever that is. That's crazy.
It's £15 postage and then £13 just for the CD. So that's well out my price range, I'm afraid. I ain't going there for that.
I'm sure you'll find one cheaper than that.
Well, it's the same price on Discog. It's £18, but that's shipped from China. So that's not happening either. So
be wary of a bootleg shakedown.
I'll wait until I find one. Like one of my holy grail items. I'll find one day with the ball intact.
Yeah, definitely. The Japanese one's quite nice. If you ever see one of the Japanese ones, because it came with a big, it's got all the B-sides on it as well, a bit like the reissue one that we did. And it's got a big thick booklet with all the lyrics in Japanese inside.
Yes.
I've only got one of them.
I do have one of them.
Yeah.
And it came with an outer cover on as well, didn't it? With some like a little card insert and everything. I do have one of them, but now I feel I'm gonna have to buy that one from Italy now, aren't I? You just cost me 30 quid, David.
Sorry. It's because I have it as a saved thing on eBay. So when one does crop up, and that's the first one in 2 years, I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, I actually did when I bought the one with the ball bearing in. I bid on two. I lost. Somebody outbid me on one, and I ended up having to buy one. Yeah, so get it when you can.
I'll keep looking. Was you big in Japan then? Did you ever go over to Japan?
No, we were supposed to go over, and it all fell apart, which was part of the end of when everything was kind of unraveling a little bit. But yeah, we used to get quite a lot of Japanese people come to see us in London. There was a sort of Japanese community in London, and obviously indie pop and Britpop was massive in Japan. And we had a deal with a good label over in Japan called Filter, and they released the album and the singles over there, and we sold. I mean, we did a lot of interview requests, and we got a lot of amazing fan mail from Japanese fans, where they used to, go to a lot of effort, make collages and postcards and send photos. It was amazing. But I think it was a great time for British guitar bands in Japan, because there was so much interest in British guitar music and Britpop and indie. So I think a lot of bands of our type were big in Japan during the 90s. So yeah, good times. But we got quite a few orders for the reissue from when we did this Shakedown reissue from Japan. So a few people remember us out there.
Oh, good. That's
I've
good.
got a load of magazines, because they used to send us all the reviews and stuff, but they're in Japanese. So one day I'll have to translate them and see if they liked it or not. But it was
I wouldn't. Don't just presume they're all really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just gone on eBay now, and somebody is selling for £7 plus £6 purchase package a still from one of our videos from back in the day, like a photograph of us filming it. It's like, who would buy that?
Me, David. He's probably selling it. How much do you want for it?
I'm not selling it. I won't sell any of my stuff. I won't.
No, that's
One
the
day
point. I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
that's the point of collecting. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a people buy and sell memorabilia, don't they? But I only buy stuff I'm intending to keep.
Yeah. I'm gonna have one day. I will have a music room, and it'll all be nicely on display. But it's not happening right now. Too much going on. Right. So let's fast forward then to 2.5 years ago, guys. What happened 2.5 years ago?
I'm too weak to say no to Danny.
That's what I bullied Paul and Tristan. No, I mean we've made music together on and off over the years in between the Kynd, and Paul was still very active playing, and Tristan and I play in bands separately. But we obviously during lockdown, Paul, Tristan and I were chatting, and we knew that the anniversary of Ego Tripper was coming up, the 25th anniversary of the first single, and we were talking about, should we do something to, we'd had a few plays on like the Britpop Revival show and a few other little, indie stations, and there was a piece in the first issue of the Speakeasy fanzine, which is a great fanzine if people are watching. And we talked, let's maybe do something to mark the 25th anniversary. Maybe we could do a gig. And so we got together and started, going through some of the material. And we found, in our kind of boxes of tapes and mini discs and CDs and demos, quite a lot of recordings and live recordings and demos we were doing. And there was a real, it was a bit of a treasure trove of these songs that didn't make it on Shakedown, or we were preparing for the second album. And it got us talking, maybe if we do this gig and it goes well, maybe we could look at doing something, and perhaps we should reissue Shakedown, because we found the B-sides and some of the radio sessions, and it kind of snowballed from that, really. Once we got in a room and we were playing together again, and the reaction, the gigs sold out, and it was kind of like, oh, actually that was really good fun. Maybe we should let's see what's next. And then we sort of got this set of new songs together, the songs that are on Timelines, the new album that'll be out in March. And we thought, actually, do you know what, that's a really good album. Album's worth the material. So again, then we just moved on to the what felt like the next logical step.
Yeah.
Danny's a bit of a force of nature when he gets the bit between his teeth. So and you do get sucked along with it. But I think the sort of reaction, people start to get in touch. I hear you're doing something. Will there be new songs? When's the next gig? And I was really surprised how many people remembered the band and remembered us fondly. So that's quite encouraging. And then, like Danny said, just one thing leads to another. Well, we don't want to just keep playing gigs, playing the old songs. Let's get the new ones together. And then if we're going to do it, we should probably record them. And if we're going to record it, we should do it properly. And then it just escalated from there now. And we're in it now. They're all off at the pressing plant. So we've got to release it now. It's kind of gathered its own momentum.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched you over the past couple of years. Like I said, you've grown from like the obscure Britpop band that nobody knew of, and then you've been on, like you said, the Britpop Revival. You've now got another new album coming out. You've been doing gigs. You've built you're like a brand new band from scratch, and you've just built it up again, all in the past couple of years. It's been really good to see and watch.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I think we feel like a new band as well. I mean, as much as we're fond of the stuff we did in the 90s, and I think Paul's main thing, Paul, our singer, was that if we're going to do it, it has to be good. It has to be. We're not just going to go through the motions and play, a set we would have done in 1998 and like be happy with that. If we're going to do it, it has to be good and it has to have merit, and it has to, we want people to come and see us and appreciate us if they do, as like say a new band holding our own, and so we approached it like that, and it feels like, as much as, again, we're not, we're going to play those songs that people know from the 90s, and we understand that's how, if anybody's heard of us, that's how they've heard of us. But it feels like a new band, and we're really excited about the new material, and we love playing live again. So yeah, I hope people that are coming to us now, treat it like that, really.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And you did I've got my copy here of you re-released Shakedown. My copy's here. I got number 7.
Oh, early.
Oh, nice work.
Yeah, I keep that inside.
007. Yeah.
007. That's quite a good one.
Yeah. Funnily enough, that's the last 3 letters of my 3 numbers of my phone number as well, 007.
Must have known. But one of the reasons we did that is because nobody could get hold of a copy of the album.
No, you can't. You can't. No.
Yeah, it's on Spotify, and people saying, well, where can I buy it? And we were looking around and said, well, there's none left. So yeah, we did the reissue to coincide with the gigs, and yeah, I'm glad we did. It got a good response, and as you say, a lot of people missed it the first time around. So hopefully they're enjoying it now.
As I say, you do look a lot younger in the picture on the back.
25 years will do that. We've got some more up-to-date photos on the new album.
So you've got the new album Timelines coming out. You say it's coming out in March next year.
Yeah, the 10th of March.
And Whispers and Tones is out next week.
Yeah, that's right. So the single's out on Whispers and Tones. The first single from the album is out on the 9th of December. Yeah. That'll be available digitally. And then you can pre-order Timelines. We're doing a vinyl package, a CD. You can pre-order that now from our Bandcamp site, and that will come out in March next year. So just wait for the vinyl to come back from the pressing plants. But yeah, we're really happy with it. And it's like you said, we waited all this time, and now we've got there. We just can't wait to get it out now. Yeah.
Have you got any more gigs planned for next year?
Yeah, we're just finalising some gigs now. We can't say too much. There's a really exciting launch party, which we can't wait to start telling people about, and there'll be some festival dates and stuff through the summer as well. So
wow, cool.
It was amazing to come back this year and do. We came back just in time. We played Shine On. We played a Truck Festival. It was an amazing bill. We did the Speakeasy Festival with some sort of old friends from the 90s, 1,000 Yard Stare, My Life Story, and Space. It was brilliant to be doing those things. So, yeah, more festivals and some headline dates as well in the new year.
Cool. It sounds a really exciting time coming up for you lads, and it's well deserved. Well deserved the way it's been going. Just a couple of quick ones then before we finish. CD or vinyl?
I buy both, if I'm honest. I prefer vinyl. We're really excited about getting this album out on vinyl because the first one that came out in the 90s, it was at the end. People were moving. We did vinyl singles, but people were moving away from vinyl onto CD. So we didn't press a vinyl version of Shakedown. So we're really excited about getting Timelines out on vinyl. You're more CD, aren't you, Tris? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I do like vinyl. Obviously, feels like a superior product. I like the packaging. I like everything about it. But CDs, you listen to CDs in the car. They're just an easier format. So I am both. But I do like and I'm really pleased it's coming out on vinyl, and at one point I think we were talking about we'll do it on vinyl and digital download, and we'll skip CDs, but I think if you can pick up oh no, I know you wouldn't like that, but I think if you, so we've definitely got definitely got CDs of this one, and they're back already actually. And also especially merch at a gig. You know, if you can buy see a band, quite like them, tenner for the album, stick it in the car on the way home. I don't think, you know, I think we'll always put it out on CD.
Yeah, we've done a nice digipack with a lyric booklet and the whole thing. No, I think you've got to do both, haven't you?
Yeah, I think this day and age, if you can do both, go for both. Don't do one and anger half your market because they don't want it on the format that they want.
And we can't afford to halve our market, David.
No, well, thank you very much for joining me then, guys. I've really enjoyed this chat and I've really appreciated you giving up the time to do it. It's been great. And I wish you all the best for next year and the album launch. And hopefully I will love to come and see you play live. I'd love to come and meet you personally. It'd be great.
Mate, whenever you want to come, we'll stick you on the guest list. We really appreciate all your support and sticking with us. So whenever you want to come to a show, you just let us know. It'd be lovely to see you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, let's do this again when Timelines comes out and you've had a listen to it. We'll do a rundown of the album with you.
Oh, cool. I'll look forward to that. I'll pencil it in.
I'm listening. It's all you're going to want to listen to next year, David.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any new material from anyone else coming out, so.
This could be our year. Finally, we could have timed it just right.
If you get in the top 10.
Well, yeah. We'll. I think you can probably rest easy on that one, but let's see.
Yeah, great. Right. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. See you soon.